Crikey, it's hot. The heroic Harley is riding like a pearl, like a black pearl. Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well. So this video is all about Harley Davidson, the company, the dealerships. Are they losing support from you out there? The reason why I say this, the reason why I make the video, because I've kind of been hanging around Harley dealerships quite a lot recently because I've been test riding different bikes, right? Sometimes they're really busy, sometimes they're really slow. And that's just natural, isn't it? But because I've got the website as well, RevelatorAlf.com, I do a lot of motorcycle news, biking news there as well. I pick up on a lot of stories and a lot of opinion out in the ether. And sometimes it's actually really hard to gauge whether a company like Harley Davidson is gaining or losing support, popularity out there. And I've kind of made videos about this in the past, and sometimes there's substance to it and sometimes there isn't. This year, 2023, is a bit of an odd year when you're trying to analyze a company like Harley Davidson, because in terms of popularity, in terms of support for the brand from Harley Davidson riders, either traditional Harley Davidson riders, long-term Harley Davidson riders, or relatively new, let's say 5 or 6 year riders, let's say like I am, or brand new riders who've just come into the brand, right? It's hard because they've just celebrated their 120th anniversary, so the whole year has been lots of, and there's still more to come. There's events and everything. It's a lot of rah Harley Davidson, right? But you cannot get away from the fact that they're expensive motorcycles, as many other brands are as well. It's not just them, but also they're not making the sales that they once were. In fact, the sales have been dropping, but weirdly the profits are up there because they're still making profits on interest rates and things like that. So it's kind of, are they losing support? Well, I suppose in terms of bike sales they are. But are they losing support in droves, of people abandoning the brand? I'm not so sure that's true, in all fairness. I think they're suffering like all other brands are suffering, in terms of, unless they're a brand that's selling really cheap motorcycles, then they're not really being affected that much. But the ones that are selling the higher end motorcycles, yeah, I think they are all being affected, and they are all losing sales. Whether that's support or not is another matter, but I think they're definitely losing sales. And Harley Davidson, based on their half yearly results so far, yes, their sales have reduced, but their profits are still up there. It's an odd one. The thing is, when you go out into internet land, there's lots of people with opinions, and there's lots of people who will give negative opinions, and those who will always give positive opinions. And I kind of try and cut between that, and I kind of see what's actually going on, especially for the website when I'm writing lots of articles there. When I'm writing about a company like Harley Davidson, you want to try and dig into the facts. What are the actual facts out there? So you always hear about dealerships closing, or bad experiences at dealerships, or bad experiences about dealing with the motor company directly, and also about the high prices and the negativity there, and the technology, and all that kind of stuff. You're always going to hear that, but there is a lot of positivity there, and there's still a lot of high demand from many people out there who wanted to buy Harley Davidson. I just think the demographic has changed. I think the kind of people who are buying Harley Davidsons these days has completely changed to when it once was. But just stick with me for a couple of seconds, because I'm talking about Harley Davidsons from a European, from a UK point of view as well, because they've always been expensive over here, whereas in the United States they've always been less expensive. But in comparison to other brands in the United States, they may be more expensive as well. They are an expensive brand, there's no getting away from it. And the way people have been feeling the pinch the last couple of years, post-COVID, and all the the problems with getting parts, and the prices of parts and raw materials just going up and up. It's made Harley Davidson and other brands of this ilk less of an exciting proposition. It's made them out of reach of a lot of people. So what that means is that the people who really want Harley Davidsons, they're going into the used bike market. But because there's so much more demand in the used bike market, guess what? That makes them more expensive as well. So for the traditional buyer of a Harley Davidson, perhaps they're kind of either sticking with the Harleys they've got, they're either getting really old ones or anything that they can afford, but now they're just not given support, or the brand is losing support to new purchases and new people coming to the brand. And I suppose that always happens, isn't it? For every motorcycle manufacturer, every car manufacturer, you know, you're going to have maybe some that are loyal, you're going to have some that buy a product once and will never buy it again, or they just buy it that once and it'll stay with them for ages and ages, or you just get those other ones that just buy the bike, have it for 2 or 3 years, and then just go on to a different brand. Harley Davidson, just like a few other brands, a select few other brands, do tend to have a loyal rider fan base. And I've always said this, other brands only wish they had the fan base and the customer base that Harley Davidson do. Whilst they don't have the sales like the huge companies, those companies also don't have the loyalty and the appreciation, let's say, like Harley Davidson does. I dare say there's more content made about Harley Davidson motorcycles than any other brand. If I do research into motorcycles and any other kind of motorcycle brand, Harley Davidson will always be the one that is the most searched. And this company is also possibly the most recognized name for those people who are not into motorcycles. You can ask your grandmother on the street and you say, name me a motorcycle, and the chances are she'll probably say a Harley Davidson. If she doesn't know any other brand, she'll probably say, oh, well, I know a Harley. You see, because the name is just so popular. Whilst people may not know anything about it, they know the name. So that's carried the company for many, many years. But are times changing? Are times changing for all brands? Are they changing for a company like Harley Davidson? Are they struggling to keep up? As I say, 2023 is a funny year. It's a difficult year to gauge it, and we're not really going to know until the end of the year how well or how badly they're doing. But it's a trend. It's a trend that they're not doing as well as they once were. And the data doesn't lie. The data doesn't lie there. But they have embarked on these collaborations in China and also in India to produce a 350, a 500cc and a 440cc single cylinder engine smaller motorcycles, right? But they're only being sold in those markets. Definitely from India, they've got 25, 30,000 pre-orders. China, there's no data on there at all. We don't know how well they're selling over there at all. So from a profitability point of view, we don't know if that's going to have any effect on the company. From an overall support for the brand, we don't really know. It's too early to tell to analyze that data. But from the Western markets, you know, Europe, United States, Canada, Australia, South Africa, you know, certain parts, let's say Argentina, Brazil, Mexico, let's say, and also in the Far East, where certain sales have increased of Harley Davidson, you wonder if there is still the support or the drive to own a Harley Davidson that there once was. Or is this support that is there, that we know is there, is it just coming from a different type of person? Is it coming from a different type of rider? I don't know if that is true. I don't know if it's, you know, just richer people who are riding Harleys. I'm certainly not. You know, I had to scrimp and save to get that. And I'm always, you know, wondering whether it's the best value for me in terms of riding and all that sort of stuff. I love the bike. I've always said the bike. I'm just not really a fan of the brand, because I just see, as I've always said, I've always been completely honest about this, you know, I love that bike, and I really do love some of the products that Harley Davidson do, but I wouldn't say I'm a fan of the brand. I'm not in hog and all that kind of stuff, you know, and there's nothing wrong with it, it's just not for me. So I don't operate at that level, if you know what I mean. So suppose if you do, if you are, let's say, a hog member, or you're in a Harley riders group or club or whatever, you're still going to have that loyalty, you're still going to have that allegiance to the brand. But I'm just wondering, even within those groups, is there still the support? Is there still the support that there once was? I'm not saying that people are leaving the brand or going to a Suzuki or something, or a Triumph, but I'm saying, are they, you know, are they happy with their lot, as it were? Anyway, for me, you know, I love my bike. I love my heroic Harley, the Harley Davidson Sport Glide, of course, as you know, but it's the bike that I love. It's not the company or the dealerships, which I have nothing against them, of course, but you know, it's the bike that I really love. So I'm the wrong person to ask, and this is why I've made this video, because I have an interest in this from a reporting point of view, because I have the website, the motorcycle news website, the bike and news, RevelatorAlf.com, go check it out. I'm kind of an outsider looking in. Although I ride one, I don't have that affection for the brand, let's say, like many other people would. So over to you guys. Let us know what you think. Are Harley Davidson losing their support? Are they losing your support? Or is it still the same? Are they still as strong as ever? I'm not so sure. But I don't think it's total disaster either. I don't think it's doom and gloom on the horizon for them. I think they're just the same as many other brands, just treading water at the moment. And let's just see what goes on in the future. But for now, it's time for me to get on my steel horse thing and go and hit some more back roads. And I'll catch you again. Let us know your thoughts. Are they losing your support? Did they ever have it? Catch you again. Ta-ra.